watching Unapologetic Filmmaking and Dope-ish.
Well, shoot, Will, you want to roll this power up?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that.
All right. So basically, like I shot you the email, let you know. Basically, the power up, guys, is the inspirational quote of the week. And typically we have something, but since we got our honorary guest here, Mark Gregory. Yeah.
See, you missing the clap thing again.
Oh, hey, man, we need that. We
need
how
a
about
person
you be in charge of
Hold on,
clap?
we ain't got enough people. Okay. That's what it's saying.
All right. Here you go. All right. You get two of them.
Okay. You get two of them?
Two. Yeah. With a plane and a jet. Okay. All right.
You gotta get a flyover, man. That would be dope.
Man, this mother gonna just keep going, man. You famous, man.
Hey.
Hold on. All right, player. Okay. That Siri done came on. All right. So, inspirational quote of the week. What you got for us, brother?
Inspirational quote. You know what, man? As I mentioned before, I was asked to speak to the track team when I went to Ole Miss, and I think like a week before, I was just kind of going through the Bible. It's a scripture that we all know, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And my focal point of that was, I can do all things, right?
Man.
Okay.
Hold on. I promise I was just talking to my dad about that the other day. Just talking to him about that. And I said, man, people skim over the all things.
All things.
Man, go preach, brother.
Okay.
Preach,
So here's the
Reverend
thing.
Mark.
I can do all things. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm just looking at those two words, all things. But here's the question. Okay, now we know that through Christ we can do all things. But the question is, are you willing to do all things?
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
That's the question. Like,
True.
okay, once we establish what the goal, the dream is, bam, are you willing to do all the things that it takes to make it possible? And if you are, you will be successful. But if you're not, quit playing.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
Man,
So,
I'm
all things. Are
I'm
you
loving
willing
that,
to do
man.
all things?
I'm loving that, dude. I swear I feel the same way because people they just have so many excuses. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
do you
do.
understand the power that's in you?
Yeah, man.
Like, it's already there.
It's already there.
It's always been there. You know, so
Yeah.
that's crazy. I love that. That's real power right there.
Yeah, it really is. You ready to go for the next topic? Or you want
I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask
you
him
want some
another.
more?
Yeah. Because I don't want that section to be too short.
You want too short?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I asked this before, and it's just because it's a book that I'm reading. Like I don't listen to music hardly ever. You know what I'm saying, except for when I'm setting up gear stuff. Okay. But like when I'm in a car driving, whatever, I'm always listening to books. You know what I'm saying. So this book that I'm listening to right now is called Start With Why.
Okay.
And it's basically kind of breaking down. If you say for instance you make phones or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you put more hard drive space in it or whatever, gigs, this, that, and the other, it's lighter, faster, sexier, whatever, that's cool. If that's all you have to offer, then basically you're gonna be dethroned by the next person. You know what I'm saying? So they talk about the why, like, you know, and they talk about how Apple is who they are because people believe in their brand. So you know, the whole thing was, why do you do what you do? You know, so they basically said that that's a hard thing to answer, but once you get down to why you do what you do, then that's when you define who you actually are. So let me ask you that. Why do you do what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I do what I do is because that is what brings me fulfillment, you know? And I think that is what kind of, once you figure that out, that shifts your direction.
Absolutely.
Because there are a lot of people, you know, there are a lot of doctors who are extremely successful in their field, but they really always wanted to do social work or become a lawyer.
Right.
So then they go back to school, and it's now that they're in the field that they were supposed to do, now they have that sense of fulfillment. So for me, I mean, I've been making people laugh my entire life,
Right.
you know, and that's what brings me joy. For me, just being able to convey a thought and make it funny, or take a topic that is extremely uncomfortable for everybody, whether
Right.
it's an election, and make it a smooth drink. For me, man, that brings me joy. And like I said, once you tap into what you're supposed to be doing at that point, you know, life has some type of meaning. You can
Right.
stick your chest out. So
Right.
that's my why.
Man, I love that because it actually, what you just said brought me to thing that I saw on your page that I saw when you first posted it. I was cracking up because, you know, we all about the superheroes, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And
yeah,
you did you was talking about Cage, you know, Luke Cage, and you was talking about how the parents was gonna get their kids the bulletproof.
Yeah, bulletproof skin.
I was cracking up.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this dude is crazy.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's like a a topic that could be sensitive, you know what I'm saying, and you just find a way to just find that, I ain't gonna say joy in it, but just talk about it, you know what I'm saying, because it's like, it's real, you know,
it's real.
And I think a lot of times people are way too sensitive about stuff. So you know, I think, you know, the way you talk about it, it's just so funny. It's like, you gotta laugh, you know what I'm saying, you gotta laugh.
And I think that's one of the things. So, you know, going back to my uncle, I'll always ask my uncle, like, man, how are you still alive? Because it's like, he was cool with King. King is dead. He was cool with Malcolm X. Malcolm X is dead. He was best friends with Medgar Evers.
I don't even know who that is.
Mississippi. He was a civil rights activist. Major. Like, King and it was up here, but Medgar Evers was right below him. He was in Mississippi, man, for 2 weeks. For a certain time period. He goes back home, bam, Medgar Evers is dead. And my uncle was like, if I was there, I know I would have been with him. But, you know, their message was the same, you know.
Right.
But what helped my uncle was he did comedy.
Right.
So through the avenue of comedy, it's kind of like, you could throw them gems out there and there's truth in it and people hear it, but then sometimes people just kind of laugh it off because it's like, oh, he just telling jokes, but it's like, no, it's truth in it. So that's the beauty of comedy, is that
same with
you
film.
can insert exactly
same
right.
With
yeah,
film.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because dude, I'm watching Zootopia and I was like, yo. I was like,
because they was calling them all kinds of wild predators.
Right.
Oh, what the old girl called?
And then when they took old boy from the front desk, basically, they was like, we don't want no black people.
Right.
That's what that means.
Right.
You know? So yeah, that's the beauty of it, man. Yeah. That's the beauty of comedy, is that, you know, you could just insert, you know, and for me, man, you know, I like showing my intellect. You know, no, I'm not gonna be up there just being ignorant.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you that I could, you know, because sometimes it is shocking, you know, when I work these comedy clubs and it's mainstream and they see like a black dude come on stage, and not saying that they expect all of us to be ignorant, but they are shocked and surprised.
Right.
It's like, wow, you have a legitimate point of view. It was funny and it's balanced. And I think that's the thing that's cool, that's important too, because like, you just can't bash Trump.
Right.
You gotta talk about Hillary as well.
Right.
You have to talk about everybody. Yeah. And I think if you do that, then it's cool.
Right. I mean, it's the same with us. Like, when we first got started, and I've said this story before, but you know, everybody's like, oh, you gonna make gangster films, right? You know, gangster films and love triangles. And I'm like, hey, like, I felt insulted. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you trying to say, like, I'm not smart enough to...
And then exactly when that happened, we actually did the opposite.
Exactly.
As soon as they said that, like, nah, we don't. We automatically do the opposite.
Yeah. And there are films that I wouldn't mind getting a little gangster with, but I'm like, I know we can't do it. I mean, just because, like, we need to stay on this path to show them that we're intelligent, you know what I'm saying, and that we can talk about things intelligently. You know what I'm saying? Like, we like to joke and jive or whatever, you know, but at the same time, like, we're smart. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely feel that.
And here's the thing about that, like, that route, you're gonna get there. It may be a little bit slower,
right?
But once you get there, you're gonna have much more longevity.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you said, I mean, whether it's plays or anything like that, everybody is doing that.
Right.
And
exactly.
Everybody's doing that would make you stand out.
Exactly. So how many black director producers do you know that do sci-fi and horror?
Man.
Exactly right.
See,
exactly.
Because listen, when we submitted our first film back in 04 to HBFF, Tanya Kersey, Hollywood Black Film Festival. Shout out to them. I mean, that's a great film festival. We submitted our film, and I mean, that was literally our very first thing that we ever did. We did a feature film. They was like, "What the hell? How many other films have you done? This is it." Like, what? Y'all did a feature first? We like, man, we ain't know.
Yeah,
we just look. We just
excitement.
I'm telling you, we just did it. But I talked to I can't remember who it was. It was one of the people who was in charge of selecting the films, and I asked her straight out, like, man, why'd you pick our film? You know, and she was like, I really enjoyed it, but she was like, you know what? There's literally no other film like your film. Like, you know, like, we were the only ones that submitted a sci-fi horror type film.
Yeah.
Even when we did Descent of a Superstar, we went back in like 2014 or whatever that was, and there was still nothing like ours. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, we on to something. Let's stay in this lane. And especially with the way the industry is going with the superheroes and all that, I'm like, okay, God, I see you. You know what I'm saying? I see you. Like,
had you did something else, man, y'all probably would have watched out.
Exactly. Yup. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Plus, we love it. So
I know. I was talking to Cheryl Underwood one day, right? And she was just
see how you threw that out there.
Yeah, I know.
See how I threw that out there.
No, I'm not saying. I already told y'all I'm out here though. Okay, so y'all in here, I'm out here. But no, so she was just telling me about like the Def Jam era, right? And she was saying that, you know, when they were doing like the mid '90s, like it was, you know, all of these Def Jam tours, right?
Right.
And she was saying that at the time, Dave Chappelle was eating it, like bombing.
What?
But she said at the time, all of them knew that he was gonna be the one to make it because he was the best writer of them all. So it's like, okay, imagine young Dave Chappelle, like, I'm gonna stick my chorus and do this.
Right.
Had he switched it up and was like, well, time to start talking about getting your dicks up.
Right.
We not gonna see this Dave Chappelle
Exactly.
we see in front of us now. So it's like it's vital just to stay your course, man.
And so you got to be you.
Yeah, you have.
That's why like I'm glad that you answered the question the way that you answered as far as your uncle. You know what I'm saying? Because your uncle, he's obviously a legend.
Yeah.
But for you to be you, that's the most important. You know what I'm saying? And that's gangster, man. Like, I don't have anybody like famous in my family that I know of. You know what I'm saying? But I could imagine just being around somebody who's bigger than life and who's doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? How it can influence you. So, you know, stay the course. And
the crazy thing about Anki is that even his son, who handles all of his social media, I mean, imagine like you were the dude who, like, and this is why I feel like it's important to just be around people that's doing much better than you. Like, my uncle hung up on Kennedy. Right?
What?
Yeah. When they
that's hilarious.
The march when they did the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. So he called and was like, "You shouldn't be there. They about to turn these dogs up.
Right.
King is wrong. You right." So my uncle was like, I hung up on him and said, no matter how wrong King is, he's still righter than you. Hung up, bam. But here's the thing though. What can I say to my uncle that's gonna impress him? Right. The fact that President Kennedy called your house is enough. So with me, man, it's just like, you know, just keep going and keep going. Right. But at the same time, it's encouraging
for sure
to be around people that you know you can't impress.
Right.
You know,
because he did know Michael Jackson.
He was watching nutritionist.
Yo, I was like, yo, he talking about Mike, like Michael Jackson, dude.
Yeah.
That's like meeting Jesus, as far as I'm concerned. I'm like, that's major, man.
Except Jesus not gonna try to touch on you. That's the only Jesus you get too personal. Like, come on, I mess with you, but now it's getting awkward.
But yeah, man, that's gangster though, man. Cool. Which we gonna move on to the next topic.
You are now watching Unapologetic Filmmaking and Dope.